Hey everybody, today I want to talk about a box set that I've had for quite a while now, but I haven't got around to make a video for it, and I've had a lot of people asking me to make this very video. So today I'm going to give my full review of the Beach Boys Feel Flows box set. The official title is Feel Flows, The Sunflower and Surf's Up Sessions 1969 to 1971. And this came out in 2021. And I was really excited for this box set because I think my favorite Beach Boys album besides Pet Sounds is their album Sunflower. This is an original pressing of the album from 1970. This is a US pressing. And this is, if you've never heard this album and you like the early Beach Boys stuff, this is the starting point, in my opinion, for the Beach Boys' later career. So they're after Pet Sounds stuff, which I think is some of their best stuff. And I know their 1960s period is almost untouchable because Brian Wilson was just at the absolute peak and just was creating perfect music. And I love that stuff. But they were almost like a different band after pretty mumuch after like 1970 and onward. They became a different band because brother Carl Wilson took a much more prominent role within the band. So did Dennis Wilson as well, the other Wilson brother, and Mike Love and Al Jardine and Bruce Johnson. Actually, they all took a much more a bigger role within the band as far as songwriting, as far as arranging, producing, and they really created some amazing music. And Sunflower is definitely one of my favorite albums. And it's right behind Pet Sounds for me as far as my favorite Beach Boys albums. So, I was really excited when this box set was announced. And I picked it up. This happens to be what LP edition one is this? This is the 4 LP box set. And I generally like it, is how I will say. There's things about this that I really don't like, which I'll talk about, and there's things about this that I absolutely love. So let's get into what you get inside the box. So here's the front cover, kind of a cool drawing there. There's the back of the box, and let's look inside here. So first off, you get Sunflower, and it has been remastered, the original album, and there's a ton of bonus tracks on here, and I'll talk about the bonus tracks. There's the gatefold, and this is a double disc, 2 LP, and unfortunately, I don't like the way they've broken up the album. So what they did was, for side 1, they, instead of just having the original album on the first LP, you get side 1, you get all the normal songs, 1 through 6, but then they add 3 songs as bonus songs on side 1 that breaks up the album. So the album is no longer the original album like the original album that came out in the 1970s. So right off the bat, I don't really like that they did that. And they do that also with Surf's Up as well. So kind of a weird choice because they also include the second LP on here, is all the bonus material as well. And all the bonus material they include on the original album, it's like you get Cotton Fields, which is like a single release around that time period. San Miguel backing vocal excerpt, it's only 35 seconds. It's About Time backing vocal excerpt is like 50 seconds. So it's just short little bonus stuff that really isn't all that important in my opinion. Not important enough to break up the original album. So don't really like that. Anyway, let's keep looking at the contents of the box. So that's Sunflower. Then here is Surf's Up, the follow-up album, also an album I love a lot. And they did the same thing with this, where they broke up the original album with bonus tracks, which is kind of weird, but oh well. And there's a little insert here, which I'll show you. Lots of motorcycles going by, as you can tell. If you don't know, by the way, in my videos, I don't do that much editing, and when I hit record, I pretty much, unless it's just an insane interruption, audio interruption, I generally just keep whatever's going around. So I live on literally, it's called Main Street, which is just right out there, and it's the weekend, so people are going nuts. Anyway, there's the gatefold, and like I said, you get this insert here, kind of cool, I suppose. Cool shot of the Beach Boys, and I included the hype sticker from the original shrink wrap on the back there. I like to try to keep those. Then you get this book. The booklet, and it's actually a booklet, not really a book, I would say. It's pretty thin. There's the back of the book. There's the front, glossy front. And I'll say the book is kind of lackluster. It doesn't have all that much information. Has a little bit of a write-up, an essay. I don't know I forget who wrote it, but it's just okay. I'd give the book like a C+. I definitely wish, I was kind of hoping the book would maybe be along the lines of the Beach Boys Smile Sessions box set, what I consider has probably one of the best books ever in a box set. So this was a little bit underwhelming, but still nice that they included a book. So let's now talk about each of the albums. And my biggest problem with these two albums included the original albums remastered. The remastering is not good. Way too much low end. It's just totally overblown bass. If you are not a fan of some of like Giles Martin's remixes of the Beatles albums and remastering all that kind of stuff, with the low end can be a little bit harsh on that. This is like that times 10. It's so much worse on here. They really blew it as far as the mastering goes on the low end, which is such a disappointment. So much so that when I listen to this on headphones, it's almost too much for me to take. I have to listen to it at such a low volume, otherwise the low end just starts to like kind of, I feel like it's wrecking my ears. The other thing is it has a harsh high end as well. It just doesn't work. And in their defense, whoever did the mastering on this, the original album already was kind of harsh in the sense of the highs were a bit harsh, and the lows were pretty. They're really good on the original pressing that I have here. They're really good, but they're very full and almost to the max on this original pressing. So I think when it came to doing the remaster, they just overdid it, and unfortunately, it does ruin a lot of the. It just ruins the original albums for me. That being said, the bonus material on this is what it's all about. And thankfully, for whatever reason, the bonus material doesn't seem to be as overblown as the actual original album stuff on here. So the bonus material still is a little bit much, I would say, but it's not quite as harsh. I don't know if that's just because I'm so used to hearing the original album the way it was, that the bonus material now that I've never heard before, it just doesn't bother me as much that it's been so overblown. But yeah, the mastering and the remastering on here is just, they didn't really hit it. They just missed it completely. So that's too bad. Let's talk about though the other thing I wanted to mention is the actual vinyl quality. The vinyl is a little bit noisy, is what I would say. So it's all brand new. The records are all brand new. Obviously, I bought this brand new, and I put it in my own MoFi Mobile Fidelity inner sleeves just to keep them nice. And here's what the records look like on the Brother Records label, which is pretty cool. But the actual records themselves are pretty noisy, and what I mean by that is even in the in between songs, the inner groove, and the between songs, just the silence, you can just tell the vinyl itself is pretty noisy, the surface noise, and that kind of sucks. When you get a brand new record, you want it to be pretty dead quiet, or at least reasonably quiet. I would say that while it doesn't ruin the music. It could be a lot quieter, that's for sure. It could be a lot better as far as the pressing goes. So that was a little bit of a drag. Let's now talk about the good stuff. So, the good stuff, basically this box set, from my perspective, and I'm a huge Beach Boys fan, this box set is all about the bonus tracks. The bonus tracks on here are amazing. The Beach Boys recorded so much music in the 1970s, late 60s, and throughout the 70s. They recorded so much music. They have so much stuff that remains unreleased, and they're finally getting around now to putting all this stuff out. And some of the best of the unreleased stuff is on this box set. And I gotta say, the star of the show here is Dennis Wilson. Dennis Wilson, the Beach Boys drummer, he was a late bloomer when it came to songwriting and singing and all that kind of stuff. But from the late 60s all the way up until he died in 1983, but even up until the late 70s, early 80s, he was writing and producing amazing stuff. I'm a big fan of Dennis Wilson, and this box set contains a lot of his unreleased songs from this time period. And actually, most of his songs are on the Surf's Up bonus material. Songs like, let's see, Wouldn't It Be Nice to Live Again is one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. It's so good. It's unbelievable that they didn't release it on the actual Surf's Up album. But Wouldn't It Be Nice to Live Again is worth this box set alone. It's such a beautiful song. It's amazing. Other great songs, 4th of July is a really, really, really cool song. There's a song called Lady, Fallen in Love that Dennis released. He actually released it as a single in 1970. It's a great, great tune. And then he has a bunch of great songs on here. There's a medley called All of My Love, Ecology, which is fantastic. Just so many great Dennis Wilson moments on both of these albums. So if you like Dennis Wilson, this is a great box set for you. The other unsung hero of the Beach Boys' entire career, in my opinion, is Carl Wilson. Carl Wilson took the reins from Brian after Brian became. Brian had a lot of issues. He had drug addiction. He had mental health issues. So he kind of famously took a back seat in the late 60s. Carl Wilson jumped right in, took over basically as the musical director of the whole band, and kept them going. And they created some of their best albums because of Carl Wilson. And Carl Wilson's stamp is all over both of these albums. He wrote some of the best songs of the time. Feel Flows, which the box set gets its name from, is a song that Carl co-wrote with their manager, Jack Riley. Feel Flows is a beautiful song, brilliant song. He also wrote the song Long Promised Road, again with Jack Riley, their manager. So Carl was really at the top of his game during this time period, 1971 or 72, I guess. And he had just one of the best voices of all time. His voice is unbelievable. So Carl and Dennis are really the two heroes of this box set for me, and of this time period in the Beach Boys' career. Now, that's not to say that Brian Wilson wasn't also contributing amazing stuff, because he was. One of my favorite Brian Wilson songs is on Surf's Up. It's a song called Till I Die. And on here you get an a cappella version of Till I Die as a bonus track, which is breathtaking. You also get Brian's piano demo of Till I Die, also on here as a bonus track. Brian also provides the Smile outtake, Surf's Up, which is, of course, the title of the album. But Surf's Up they rescued it. Basically, Carl went back to the original 1966 session tapes and pieced it together from Brian's original ideas. They added some overdubs. Carl recorded a lead vocal and turned it into the finished product that was released on this album. And it is one of the Beach Boys' best recordings. Surf's Up is just, if you've never heard it, it will blow you away. It's absolutely sublime. These two albums are just essential to own within, if you're a fan of popular music. That's what I'll say. This box set, though, I will say, unfortunately, if you want just these albums without the bonus material, this is not the way to go for this box set. I don't think the mastering is great on here, and it ruins the albums. If you want to hear the albums in the best way possible, I recommend picking up original pressings of these albums. Surf's Up, this is an original pressing from 1970, and it's on the, let's take it out here. I have it in a thing here. It's on the original Brother Records and Reprise Records label. These are harder to find than Surf's Up, and what you want to do is you want to get, it has its artisan sound is the pressing that you want, and I'll show you what artisan sound that looks like down here. The symbol that's in the dead wax. These are the best sounding pressings in my opinion for Surf's Up album. Like I said, they are a little bit, they can get a little shrill at times, but I think that's just the way they are recorded. But overall, great sounding pressing of this album, and I have not heard a better sounding pressing. So maybe there is another pressing out there that is better, but I haven't heard it certainly. I'd love to know in the comments below if you happen to know of a better pressing, but I think this sounds excellent. And then for Surf's Up, I also have, this is an original US pressing on the Brother Records Reprise label, and I think this is also artisan. Yeah, it is. So same exact information as the Surf's Up album as far as this pressing goes. This is the best one I've heard. Maybe there are better ones out there, and like I said, if there are, please let me know in the comments below. I'm sure, I think Analog Productions does have a pressing out of both of these albums as well. I think those are the 45 RPM pressings. I could be wrong. I haven't heard those. They're pretty expensive, but I'm sure they're probably really nice as well. But I'd love to know if some of you have heard those. Anyway, so I think if you want the original albums, the best way to go is to just get original pressings, US pressings. And like I said, Surf's Up I see in record shops all the time. Pretty easy to find. Sunflower I do see occasionally, but I think it's getting harder and harder to find lately. But yeah, as far as the box set goes, it's all about the bonus material for me. And overall, I'll say that I think I was a little bit disappointed in the box set, just because I was kind of hoping for a nice two remastered versions of the Sunflower and Surf's Up original albums, but that's not really what you get in this box set. The remastering kind of ruined them. But the bonus material, that's what saves it. So overall, I guess if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably give this box set a solid B, just for the bonus material alone. So anyway, that's what I think about the Beach Boys Field Flows box set. Please let me know in the comments below if you picked this 4LP edition up and what you think about it. Maybe you don't agree with me at all, but from what I've read online, most people have the same opinion as far as just the mastering is just way overblown. Anyway, that's it for now. So hope you're all doing well. Take care and bye for now.